I'm Henry Schuldener, an investigator for Insight Crime. A wave of lethal drone strikes has shaken Haiti's gang-dominated capital, reportedly killing hundreds of alleged gang members. While some hail the offensive as a long overdue show of force, others warn of murky legality, limited oversight, and a rising civilian toll. The strikes come amid an unprecedented security collapse. Since the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse in 2021, Haiti has spiraled into chaos. Gangs now control over 85% of Port-au-Prince and surrounding areas, exerting near total authority in some neighborhoods. With little state resistance, they extort, displace, and kill at will, fueling a humanitarian crisis that has left more than 1 million people uprooted and thousands dead in just the past few years. This is Drone Strikes Shake Haiti's Gangs But Leave Legal and Strategic Questions, written and read by me, Henry Schuldener. A wave of drone strikes has temporarily shaken Haiti's criminal landscape, but concerns over legality and about civilian casualties have raised questions about the strategy's long-term effectiveness. Drone operations targeting gangs in Port-au-Prince have reportedly killed at least 300 alleged gang members and injured more than 400 others, all of whom are believed to be members of criminal groups, according to a new report by the National Human Rights Defense Network. However, security analysts consulted by Insight Crime said the figures could not be verified, noting that while there have definitely been casualties, the Haitian government has not confirmed the number of those killed or wounded. The operations, which began in March, were initially deployed as a last-ditch effort to halt the gang's advance through several neighborhoods in Lower Port-au-Prince, as they attempted to push toward the offices of the Prime Minister and the Transitional Presidential Council. Since then, other gang strongholds around the capital have gradually come under attack. A task force housed in the office of Interim Prime Minister Alex Didier Fil-Ami is coordinating the drone operations, but the specialized unit appears to be operating independently of Haiti's main security forces, namely the Haitian National Police and the United Nations-backed Multinational Security Support Mission, or MSS. The MSS is led by several hundred Kenyan police officers and tasked with supporting the national police. Despite meetings aimed at coordinating drone strikes with ground operations by the national police and MSS, effective cooperation has so far been extremely limited, Diego Daurin, Haiti analyst at the International Crisis Group, told Insight Crime. The task force's activities remain highly opaque. Little is known about who participates and who oversees the missions, although Fritz Alphonse Jean, the head of Haiti's Transitional Presidential Council, acknowledged in a meeting with reporters that the government is using foreign contractors to help in the fight against armed gangs. Part of the opacity stems from the unclear legal basis for using drones against gangs. A spokesperson for the Canadian police recently told the New York Times that lethal drone strikes violate both Haiti's domestic criminal law and international human rights law, primarily because the country is not engaged in a formally declared armed conflict. As a result, the use of force is legally restricted to situations involving an imminent threat to life. Despite the questions of legality, the operations are extremely popular, said Widlor Marincourt, editor-in-chief of the Haitian news outlet Ayabo Post. This offensive has offered a bit of reprieve for people living in the central part of the city, which has been increasingly under gang attack, Marincourt told Insight Crime. For the first time in about 5 years, people are seeing that these gangs are not invincible, that there are ways to hit back and disrupt their activities, he added. That popularity, however, is tempered by growing concerns regarding the risks of civilians being accidentally harmed in drone strikes. And while operations remain broadly popular, some communities are beginning to express unease. Many of the areas where gangs operate are also home to civilians, Marincourt said. I can confirm that civilians were harmed. This comes from accounts provided by healthcare workers and includes women and children, he added. But for the Haitian government, this appears to be a secondary concern. A government official interviewed by the Washington Post said civilian casualties were to be expected. Let's be honest, it's inevitable, the official said. To me, it's just a detail. As long as you're in a zone controlled by gangs and there are attacks, collateral damage is going to happen. While the drone strikes appear to have temporarily put the powerful gangs that control much of the capital on the defensive, they are unlikely to offer a long-term solution to Haiti's security crisis, as these groups continue to adapt to shifts in the government's anti-gang strategy. Haiti's gangs are extremely well-armed and resilient. Each time authorities have altered their approach, the gangs have quickly found ways to respond. When the Kenyans first arrived in Haiti, the gangs were initially stunned and didn't know how to react, said Marincourt. But once they realized the Kenyans were mostly patrolling in armored vehicles, they adapted. They started digging trenches in the roads, ambushing the vehicles, and burning them. What we're seeing now is that the gangs are beginning to adapt to the drone threat, he said. They're hiding deep inside buildings made of reinforced concrete, avoiding main roads, and digging through walls inside houses to create internal passageways, allowing them to move without being exposed in open areas where drones might be patrolling. What's more, the gangs themselves are now attempting to acquire their own drones and explosives. In early June, 3 members of Vive Ensemble, a powerful gang coalition made up of several of Haiti's largest criminal groups, were arrested in the Dominican Republic while allegedly trying to purchase drones to use against Haitian police. No gang-linked drone attacks have been reported so far, but shortly after authorities targeted Jimmy Chezier, alias Barbecue, in a March drone strike, he released a video, claiming that since drones had been used to try to assassinate him, he would now use them to assassinate anyone he wanted. I have money. Drones are sold everywhere. I can have some too, Barbecue said in the video. Despite reports of hundreds of alleged gang members killed in these drone attacks, there is no evidence that any major criminal leader has been killed or seriously wounded. But that could change, and if it does, experts said that the security situation may shift dramatically. If a prominent leader were to be killed, gangs could launch large-scale retaliatory offensives across the capital and beyond, Davrin said. Still, targeting select gang leaders is unlikely to address the underlying issues compromising the Haitian government's ability to effectively combat these groups. Without tighter coordination between the teams carrying out drone strikes and ground units, and without significant international reinforcement to help police reclaim gang-controlled areas, the strikes may, at best, temporarily destabilize gangs and buy authorities time to develop a broader response. You cannot resolve Haiti's security crisis with drones alone, said Marincourt, adding that even if that were theoretically possible, the resulting civilian casualties would be unacceptable. This was Drone Strikes Shake Haiti's Gangs But Leave Legal and Strategic Questions, written and read by me, Henry Schuldner, published June 24th, 2025. For more audio stories, podcasts, and long-form narrative journalism, be sure to follow us on Spotify, Apple, Amazon Music, and YouTube. For more on Haiti's gang crisis, as well as other organized crime news throughout Latin America and the Caribbean, visit insightcrime.org.